Previously on Near Mint Condition.
Today we're going to talk about our top 10 favorite Marvel superhero stories.
And not just stories with like one or two characters, the stories where they really brought all the Marvel characters together in an epic event.
Hello, this is George Perez, and you're watching Near Mint Condition, and I'm assuming you already know that.
I'm going to go with Inferno. Mentioned Inferno before, but that was the crossover kind of the year before Acts of Vengeance. This was primarily an X-Men crossover, though you did have tie-ins to Avengers and Captain America, Daredevil, Spider-Man. So basically what happened is you've got Illyana Rasputin, whose power is to control teleport discs that teleport her into limbo and out. And she's got these demonic powers, and demons in limbo trick her into opening a portal to New York City.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I don't know why anyone in the Marvel Universe stays in New York City.
Rent
but
is
so
cheap.
so that's one part.
Then you've got true.
It's like Murder, She Wrote there.
Yeah, you've got the other demons controlling like inanimate objects. Elevators are eating people. Post boxes are eating people. Every inanimate object is eating people. Into all this, you throw in the X-Men, who everybody thinks are dead, coming in. They're getting quasi-possessed by these demonic forces. All of their worst impulses are coming out. They're killing the Marauders. They're killing everybody left and right. All their costumes are getting crazy. They've all got giant Wolverine hair to show.
Walter Simonson was drawn.
Yeah. You've got the finale of the whole Madeline Pryor arc, where she becomes the Goblin Queen. She's going to sacrifice her son. It's the whole showdown between Mr. Sinister and Cyclops and Jean Grey and everything. And it was really the culmination of so many years of storytelling in such a fucked up way. It's like,
when you say years of story, like he means it. Like there were the two demons that mainly played part in this was Sim and Nastoreth, right?
Right.
And what's really cool is I remember there was an ad of Sim Nastoreth, and between them was Sinister.
yeah.
And I remember as a kid putting Sim Nastoreth's name together, and it sounded like Sinister. I'm like, holy shit, they thought about this.
yeah.
The moment that did it for me was the kiss. This is when Wolverine and Jean were reunited. Like, he knew that she was alive, which we'll get to here in a second. But he sees her, and he just sweeps her off her feet and kisses her, and Cyclops is like, hey, that's my girl. And Wolverine's like, fuck you, Cyclops.
I've been trying to do this for ages.
Oh, yep, that's you. So it was all these plot threads coming together in the weirdest way, and it was a great crossover.
So I'm going to talk about Secret Wars. So you were talking about the 80s, right? You know, this is mid 80s, 85, 86, and this was really cool to where it was almost like, hey, we're going to release all these toys and all these characters. Like, let's get everyone together and just have this crazy melee thing. So there's this cosmic being called the Beyonder, and he was like, I'm going to make everyone's dreams come true. And he created this interdimensional world called like the Battle World. And he's like, all right, guys, I'm going to have you all fight like each other. You can fight as you want to, and it's crazy. So like the good guys are like the Avengers, some of the Fantastic Four. The X-Men are like, this is some crazy. I don't know what's going to happen here. We'll just be like, we're gonna participate, but we're not really going to choose a side. So they're all fighting, and then they're fighting guys like Doctor Doom, Dr. Octopus, like Hulk is there, She-Hulk. There's like all these characters like fighting between each other. Spider-Man's participating. Like there's this hodgepodge of all of these like really cool battles and really epic things happen. Like Volcana is introduced. She's really cool. There's a love story where, I guess it's kind of a love story, where Dr. Doom steals the Beyonder's like, special capabilities and falls in love with this alien. Then like the Beyonder gets his powers back and he's all being a dick about these type things.
Turns out.
Yeah, it turns out. But then there's also, this is the introduction, which I thought was very interesting, of Black Spider-Man. What's interesting about this is, like, the good guys are going in, they're trying to get, like, their good suits, and they're different colored suits, and so Peter Parker is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go get my cool suit too, and he goes to get this suit, and he's like, okay, this is a cool black suit, right? And it turns out it's not. It's the alien thing that eventually, like, takes over Eddie Brock and his Venom. But it's cool that, like, really significant things happen in the Secret Wars, and this is, like, again, the first time that, like, all these characters are put together with the explicit purpose of, like, bringing everyone, all the series, all the characters, all the teams together for, like, toys, comics, and, like, to really get, like, kids like me going, oh wow, all of my people are together, all fighting each other. It was a really cool crossover.
It was, without, not counting Concepts of Champions, but that was the first Marvel crossover. And mainly it was to sell toys, but it was done in a really good way.
It was. So, I really like stories where they flip the universe on its head. And House of M does that perfectly. So, the actual world of it. So, there's not a lot of mutants going on. The House of M rules the mutants. She's gone insane. She is literally crazy, and she creates this world of her own.
And M means Magneto.
Magneto.
Like Magneto.
So Magneto has this.
I thought
M
would be mutant. Mm-hmm.
Oh no, it doesn't. So they are the ruling house. They are the ruling class.
And it's cool because it's so much of a follow up to the whole Wanda's kids are real or they're not real or all that from the 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
Where they were kind
where
of
she was married to the Vision.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And somehow, even though he's a robot,
but he can still, like, get that robot semen going.
But I mean, and
Vision
reading it, that's what made me think of it, because it's just all of a sudden she's her probability warping powers is reality warping powers again.
I think the cool part was there was a twist, because you think that it's Magneto reshaping the world in his image, but it turns out to be Quicksilver, his son, that chose this world for her to create.
For her, because he felt like
And
he
so
was the one
everybody's
that
fighting.
essentially tried to save his sister, and in it all, it kind of destroyed everything.
Yeah, so when everybody's fighting, that's when
she goes, where she's like, you know what, no more mutants. And she does. She drops the population down from millions to, like, just a few hundreds. All these mutants.
198.
198.
One of the moments that I hated and both kind of liked was Wolverine getting all his memories back. He says he remembers everything. Of course, they never did anything with that.
They didn't.
All he did was go and kill Condoleezza Rice.
It was a really cool set. There was a lot of things that was really nicely done, and I thought they could have really worked on.
My last pick is Mutant Massacre. So Mutant Massacre was the first X-Men crossover. It was the one that made you go out and buy all the books. I remember there was a little ad at the back end of X Factor 10 and Uncanny X-Men 210 where it said, "Follow the Mutant Massacre." And you're like, wait a minute, I don't read Thor! Fuck! I guess I better save my 75 cents and go buy Thor. Wait a minute, Power Pack! Shit! I gotta go buy Power Pack. So anyway, Mutant Massacre was pretty much... Chris Claremont said, you know what, we have a lot of mutants. We have a lot of mutants, and, let's just kill a bunch of them. Let's kill a bunch of ugly mutants. And Louise Simonson at the time, who was writing and editing X Factor, Power Pack, and Thor, her husband was doing Thor, Walter, they decided to join in the fun. So this made it a bigger crossover than more so than an X-Men crossover. So the way they did it is they introduced these characters named the Marauders, and the Marauders follow these mutants into the sewers, and they're like, oh look, let's have some fun. So Scalp Hunter, Riptide, like all these new characters are introduced, and they're just murdering mutants left and right. So the X-Men see a mutant come into their house, and he's like, help! Motherfuckers are killing us left and right! And he dies. And they're like, oh shit! At the time, Storm's leading, so they're like, the Morlock are her people, because she fought Callisto for leadership of the Morlocks. So she's like, we gotta go down there and help my people. So everybody gets ready. They
People she conveniently forgets about all the time.
Yeah.
Well, they do live in the sewers. So they go down there, and they're like, holy shit, everybody's getting killed. So right off the
Marauders
bat,
are slaughtering. Yeah.
right off the bat, you know, Nightcrawler, Riptide rips Nightcrawler a new asshole.
With his own tail.
And, you know, he puts him in a coma. Kitty Pryde gets shot by Scalp Hunter, which leaves her in like a ghost state for a long time. Colossus, which is like the heart of the X-Men, the most purest character, sees all his friends just go down left and right, and he just loses it. And he takes Riptide and grabs his neck and snaps it. And this is the first time, like, you see Colossus kill somebody, and you're like, man, that was like the purest X-Men, you know, besides Kitty Pryde. And he snaps it and he loses it. And then he becomes a big solid statue too because of, you know, during the fight. This is also the moment when Wolverine smells something in the sewers. He smells some red snatch, and he realizes that Jean Grey's alive. This is the first moment that, after the Phoenix Saga, Jean Grey's alive, and Wolverine's like, I know that smell. That's my girl Jean.
Don't
The
mess
second
with the one
thing that he
smells like this.
The second thing he smells is Sabretooth, and this is the first time. Now, Sabretooth is a character that appeared years earlier in Iron Fist 15,
and also in the video games.
This is the first time that Wolverine acknowledges the fact that him and this character have had a past.
Yeah.
And they go at it. And I mean, they go at it in issue 212. They fight, they beat the shit out of each other. On X-Factor's side, you know, they get out, they get their ass kicked, and pretty much Storm and both Cyclops decide, the team never meets. Both X-Factor and Uncanny X-Men never meet each other, even though they're both in the same sewers. But they both decide to pull out because there's no chance of winning this fight. So at that time, Angel is left with Artie, one of the mutants who cannot talk. He only speaks through thought bubbles. And he says he stays behind because he wants to save this kid. And he's like, tell Jean I love her. Tell Jean I've always loved her. And as he's getting like his wings torn off by Riptide and Sledgehammer, or whatever the guy's name is, he remembers, oh shit, Artie's a mutant. He can't tell her that I love her. Fuck. So he's sitting there getting his wings ripped out. In comes Thor, and Thor, like a badass, is like slamming left and right, killing Prism. Yeah. He killed Prism, you know. And then Hela comes in, and she bursts fire through the sewage just to get rid of all the mutants.
The great thing about that, and a lot of the other crossovers, not so much your world bending, or not so much Age of Apocalypse, obviously House of M, but they all, the common thread is that they all had ripples that changed the status quo of the Marvel Universe. My last pick had no ripples.
It was just
Because it was designed to not have any ripples. I am talking about, of course, the classic Infinity Gauntlet. Thanos gets all the Infinity Stones. You may have noticed that he's gathering them up
Mr.
in the Marvel
T-Fist.
Cinematic Universe. He puts them on a glove. It gives him omnipotence, to where he can control everything. And
Thanos loves
the whole reason he has gotten these Infinity
the whole
Stones
world is his.
is so he can
puppetry.
serve death better. But he gets all these
Bitches
stones.
make us do crazy shit, yo.
Word.
And she's, because it's death personified as a woman, she still doesn't love him. And he can't figure out why. And then he's like, oh, right! She wanted me to kill everybody!
Babylon.
So he snaps his fingers, and half of the Marvel Universe dies. The whole rest of the series is the remaining heroes having this huge drop-down, knockout fight with Thanos, where they're completely outmatched. They're basically just all piling on to be a diversion for the Silver Surfer, who's going to come in and swoop in and grab this
I have
Infinity
to say that's
Gauntlet.
one of my favorite scenes.
Yeah.
Where him and
Adam Warlock
come in and say, okay, when he raises his hand, they're keeping him distracted.
Right.
You go down there as fast as you can, Surfer, and get that Infinity Gauntlet.
And he misses.
And the face that he makes is like, oh shit!
And so
Because
then,
Thanos notices.
Yes.
yeah. So all of the heroes are dead because Thanos has just killed all of them. He cleans everything up. Nebula from the movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, but same character. So she has been kind of a lingering Avengers villain for a good long time, but he has brought her up to his orbital space platform and turned her into this living death thing, because, that's what you do.
That's what you do.
You got to show the grandkids love. And so she steals the gauntlet, instantly reverses everything Thanos did. All the heroes are alive. It's got them. If this very pithy, some of them remember nothing. Some of them remember everything. Some of them just are vaguely uneasy, like they might have had too much to eat.
So it's just like in Dragon Ball. Where the Dragon Balls come back, like, oh, we wish everyone back.
Yeah.
But the moment leading up to that was really cool, though. Issue 4, the Come and Get Me cover, where all the heroes, like, he turns Wolverine's bones into rubber. He's beating the shit out of Thor, making him a human being out in space so he can't breathe, so he's choking, he's dying. They're all dying.
No, it is so great.
It is doing it in the worst possible way,
it is,
too.
Yeah, and the greatness of the story, you know it's all going to get reset. Your heroes are not all just going to die one summer. It was a great, fun book that ended up having no real repercussions in the Marvel Universe, except you've got Warlock and the Infinity Watch, which set up 2 more Infinity crossovers.
Infinity War and Infinity Crusade.
Which then also had no impact on the Marvel Universe.
But we can still buy that cool glove.
Spider doppelganger, he stuck around for years. Wow, that was kind of a downer.
And what's the story, kids? Crossovers sell.
Now that was our top 10 list. What would you add or take away? We'd love to know. Please comment below, subscribe, and like our video, and spread the word.
Something like that.
Okay.
You got it. You got it?
All right.
You want to snort some Coke?
Yes,
Let's do some Coke.
let's do Coke.
Off
All right.
Dan's ass. Right now. Just kidding. Take that off. Do not delete.